Hi, hi, hi! Hi, guys! Welcome back to the Real View podcast. I am your host, Anita Kama K Kama Kawaida. And today I have a friend of the podcast, Munamjua, Munamuona, and you guys like her content very, very much. So, my lady, say something.
Thank you so much, first of all, for having
Mm-hmm.
me back at the
Mm-hmm.
podcast. I'm so happy and so glad to be here. I think last time I really enjoyed myself, even though I was feeling a bit nervous being first time on a podcast, but I
Uh-huh.
really, really enjoyed myself on the podcast, and I'm so happy to be here.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Euphie Omolo. I'm the
Mm-hmm.
CEO and founder of Dancing Fox Casting and Management.
Mm-hmm.
We specialize in events, we have models. So yeah, wholesome. We do a lot of things, but basically that is the bottom line of what we do. Yeah, and
Yeah.
of course I'm always happy to Anita's guest on the podcast.
Yeah, you can
Yes.
tell we have really good chemistry. We are friends both on and offline. That is very
Mm.
important to
Yeah.
note. So
Mm.
today, I want to talk about something that I feel the two people in front of you are very big. What's the word? Victims of this thing.
Oh God.
I want to talk about imposter syndrome. Mm-hmm.
Imposter syndrome.
What is imposter
Gosh.
syndrome to you? How can you define it for
Imposter
yourself?
syndrome, how I can define it is
Mm-hmm.
the disconnect between the person that you really are and the person that you are in your mind. Yeah, the person that you really are could be great, could be awesome, amazing, talented, and all that. But
Mm-hmm.
then there is the person that you have in your mind. It could be from how you were raised, your childhood, your experiences,
Mm-hmm.
the things you've gone through in life, and you feel like, I don't think I'm all that.
Mm.
Or you tend to just feel like, what I'm doing is normal, but what people see you doing is phenomenal.
Mhm.
So I feel like imposter syndrome, in my definition, is the disconnect
Between
between
those
those
two.
two personalities that you have.
You've mentioned it, and I've never
Mm,
really thought about it like that.
yeah.
It's quite interesting from her
Yeah.
point of view because you think in your head, okay, when you do something, like I found a few people telling me, "Oh, your podcast is so nice." I'm like, "Which one? That one? Hey, you people watch!" And like how many followers are we now? I
Yeah.
left at 181, but I'm guessing there are more than that.
Yeah.
Followers show something different. That
Yeah.
what I'm doing actually works.
Yeah. It actually
It
matters.
actually matters. Now,
Mm.
what do you think are the most common triggers for
Mm.
imposter syndrome? When
Um, I think basically I'd like to talk about my experience. I feel like the
Mhm.
most triggers for imposter syndrome is, especially if you're a high achiever, when you
Mm.
start feeling like what you're doing is falling below what
What
you
you
normally do,
do
what you're normally expected
expect, yeah.
of. Yeah. And I think for us, I think we come from a very high achieving background.
Hmm.
And it's
You could tell from that episode. You could tell, guys. Yeah.
we come from a very high achieving background, and it's constantly, it's never enough,
Mm.
and that's not being enough. Even when you feel like you're doing enough, for some reason you still hold yourself back and start
Yeah.
saying no, it's not enough. And then the other way it manifests is when a lot of people are
Mm.
praising what you're doing, you start feeling like maybe they're just gassing me up. Maybe
Yeah.
it's not even all that,
That,
you know?
yeah.
So I feel like the triggers are two ways. The first trigger is feeling like you're not achieving as much as you should be.
Mm.
And the other part is feeling like you don't deserve the compliment.
That
And I
you're
think it's,
getting.
yeah, and I think it stems from you feeling that you're not,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly where you think you should be.
Yeah, I feel like it's a very personal thing, imposter syndrome. No one can really like put you in that cage,
Yeah.
but this comes from a very personal view. For
Mm.
me, it's searching the shackles of perfectionism.
Yes.
You are there. If it's not done like this, if it does
Mm.
not hit this,
Then, yeah,
I'm not doing
then
it.
it's not
Then at the
it.
end of the day, you find that you had really nice like content, or
Yeah.
in your case, you're doing such a nice event. I'm not
Mm.
pointing fingers. Then you end up downplaying yourself when you know you could deliver, but you're like, you know what?
Yeah.
But at the end of the she delivers. She delivers
Yeah.
very, very amazing events and all that. She does
Yeah.
it. But walking through your feet, through that thought process, should I tell them?
Yes,
Should
you
I
should.
tell them? You feel that person, let me tell you guys. She has done all my friends' weddings, baby showers, uh, even funerals. She does really elite. Like if you want to send off someone in like the best way possible, she does
Yeah.
that for my mom. And
Yeah.
thank you. That was so so sweet. So she does
Awesome.
all this, and with the events especially, that's the space me and her do a lot of work together.
Yes.
So you give Yuffie your dream, or you tell her, Yuffie, I want, let's say, a beach wedding. Then she'll be like, oh, beach wedding. Then she starts on a very high. She gives you ta ta ta. You're like, is this housewife of Atlanta? Am I in Nigeria, Lagos? Like, she gives you all that. Then she starts, Ama, Ama, Ama. Then she goes through all the emotions, but at the end of the day, she
Yeah.
delivers. And I love
Yes.
that
Yeah.
for her. Me, I'm the opposite. I don't deliver. You cannot Vanessa. How many times she has to convince me to like come in front of this camera? Now that's I think that's the other.
Yeah.
It can either make you or
Mm,
break you.
yeah. But else, I feel like for me, I think imposter syndrome kicks in when now I'm actually about to execute the job, because I'm starting to feel like, my goodness, maybe I'm dreaming too big.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm going overboard. Maybe my client is starting to feel like I'm overdoing it.
You're being too
I'm
much.
being too much. I'm being over the top. So
Mm.
I feel like when that starts kicking in, I have to bring myself down.
Mhm.
And one thing I really thank God for is building a team around you who understand your goals and where you're trying to go. It really, really helps that, because when I speak to my team, they're just like,
What are you
I mean,
saying?
come on,
No,
what are you talking about?
I'm like,
Yeah, even when it's, especially when I
Yuffie,
talk to Anita and tell her, she's just like,
what
actually,
do you
you know
mean?
what? Add to that idea that you're talking about, that one. Add
That
to
is the
it.
one we
Yes,
want.
that is the one we want. So yeah, having
Tunachochanga vizuri. But I love it. You need someone like that in your corner.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
sometimes I feel like our minds are really the worst. Okay, when you've gone through maybe trauma or something,
Yes.
your mind fools around with you a lot. Your mind
Mm,
tells you cannot do something.
yeah.
But Hapo, you know you can. And the funny thing, you'll find that you've probably done it before. Then just this one time, your body just shuts down. It's a
Yeah.
very sad thing for those people who undergo it. And funny thing, I really feel like men have zero imposter syndrome.
Oh my goodness, they have zero imposter syndrome.
Nada.
Zero.
Nada. Like, have you seen a man work hapo, like a job is posted, 10 years experience,
They will show up with their 2 years
PhD.
experience and they'll
No,
be
no, no,
fine.
no, 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 no.
They'll
A
be
man with
good.
their diploma and 5 months in that business will apply for that job.
I have to think like men sometimes.
Will apply, and then a woman has like maybe 3 PhDs and all that, and she's like,
you have so many
no,
years of
but
experience.
they said,
And then you
what
start
is
ticking
this?
off the parts you think, this one,
Yeah.
maybe this one is not for me. You know, this part is not saying exactly what I can do. Girl,
And you know,
please.
like they say, you miss all the chances you don't take. If you don't apply for that job, if you don't go out, if you don't post your content, how am I speaking to myself? If you don't do those things, no one will do it for you.
Yeah, no one
So you
will do
just
it
have to
for you.
shake it, and move on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think? How can someone overcome
Yeah.
imposter syndrome, especially ladies?
And also the other thing, I usually, what I've learned to do right now is, imagine everyone, even the high level, the high achieving, the topmost people, nobody knows what they're doing. Nobody knows what they're doing. Everyone is just winging it. Like when you sit down with people, there is a certain video I saw a while back. When you sit down and talk to people, just don't put them on a pedestal and just talk to them and hear what they're trying to say, Ama, how they're thinking. Yes, you will realize that everyone is just trying to do their best.
They're just figuring it
Yeah,
out.
so you not showing up, Ama, you not participating in the doing your best, you're just doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so keep
Like,
showing
don't
up,
cancel
keep doing
yourself
it.
before
Before we cancel
before
you.
we cancel you.
Yeah, be your
Yeah,
biggest cheerleader.
be your biggest cheerleader. Go out there, put yourself out there. And yeah, I wanted to ask how to overcome this. Just find support, first of all. Find people who are there for you.
Yeah.
Hizi negative thoughts, zitoe na mwende therapy like I advised you.
Watu waende therapy.
And just practice your craft. It doesn't matter. Show up.
Yeah.
Like I said, okay, have you been to a job interview where you were not qualified for the job but you went anyways?
Actually, with events, I didn't study events in school.
See, guys.
I didn't study events in school.
See?
Yeah, I did engineering in school. And when I came
Like
for all my
2
interviews, yeah, when I came for my interviews, it was just like, have you done this before? Have you done this before? I came from a background of fashion events to corporate social events, and I had zero experience. It was just me and my word against. And that bench was seasoned. But yeah, just went in, did my thing, and
you got the job,
yeah,
actually.
that's how I got the job.
And she got the job. Funny enough, one of the other strategy to overcome imposter syndrome is getting help.
Yes, you're
Uh-huh.
actually getting help is actually very, 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 very important. Like I can't
Mm.
emphasize how important it is because first of all, you getting help in a idea to take a step back. You take a
Mm.
step back and you look at the progress of what you're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
And also getting help is getting professional help around you, like people who understand your goal, your vision, the direction that you're trying to go to.
Mm.
Personally, kama mimi, I'm a model manager and I'm also an event planner. So my world is busy. Believe you me,
Yeah,
my world is like this,
it is,
in and
guys.
out, in and out. So I think one of the problems that I faced earlier on is not hiring help as early as possible.
Mm.
Guys, if I tell you I'm such an over high achiever, I'm a high
Achieve.
goodness. Like I just want to do every single thing by myself because
Mm.
at the back of my mind, it's if I don't do it the way I'm perceiving it, it won't be
It
done.
won't be done.
Even when we have events, my friends are just like, Euphie,
Sasa, uta set up tent.
it's time to do your makeup.
You'll do all that by yourself. Hey, babe.
so, so getting help is very, very essential. Get people who understand you, people who
Mm-hmm.
know where you want to go, and itakusaidia sana with managing the imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Please get help, guys. Usikufe hapo peke yako. They say if you want to go far, walk alone. If you want to go farther, walk together. Walk together. I was trying to say that with a straight face. I feel like I'm saying the wrong thing. But you know that quote. If you
Yeah.
want to go further, get more people
Yeah,
in your
get
team.
more people in
Yeah.
your team.
So I want to also quickly touch on the psychological impact of imposter syndrome. Guys, you are who you tell yourself you are.
Mm.
In your head, if you convince yourself you're not the it girl,
You're not the
utashinda
it
tu hivyo.
girl. You're not the
And
it
the
girl.
problem this brings is you end up getting a lot of stress. Your health is implicated because imagine I found this thing whereby maybe you said you wanted to do something.
Yeah.
Let's say what would you like to do in a random world?
Mm.
Maybe you want to go jet ski.
Yes.
Then in your head umejiambia you can't, you can't, you can't, you can't, you can't. Then all of a sudden you see people doing it more and more and more. It affects you certainly. You say, "Ama mimi, there's something wrong with
Something is wrong
me.
with me.
Ama mimi, what's wrong?
I can't do
I
such
can't do
things.
such things." It affects you. And the funny thing, your mental and your physical,
Mm.
those things go like this.
They go together.
They go together. So find help.
Yeah.
Try your stress kwa maisha yako, remove the stress, journal if you can, talk to yourself. I used to do this thing. I used to do it. Msione, cross my head that I felt like I might sound crazy, but I used to talk to myself in the mirror. I felt when I was like around 23, 24, I need to go back to that. I don't know if you do it.
Yeah.
I used to write sticky notes on the mirror. Then every morning
Mm.
I would talk to myself. You can do this. You can. And I was doing a lot of things at that time. I think we need to go
It's
back
called
to
doing that inner work.
inner work.
Yeah.
You have to do it by yourself, guys.
Mm.
You have to do it.
And also another thing that Anita has mentioned is you are who you think you are.
You are.
Your concept
are.
you're who you think you are.
Aki,
Trust
you are.
me. You right now, you see the person that you are right now is a product of how you used to think about yourself 5 years ago. So
You did?
yes,
Oh,
5 years ago. That is
you're doing a good job.
that is the product. That is the product of what
Yeah.
you are right now.
Mm.
So imagine the person you want to be 5 or 10 years down the line. Start thinking like that person now. What does that person do? What is their habits? What do they do every day? Those kinds of things. And let me tell you something. Manifestation
Works.
It works, and manifestation in all directions. If you manifest a weaker you will show up.
Just show up.
If you manifest a stronger you will show up. If you manifest a richer you will show up. So yeah,
Why am I excited about that?
when you start feeling like imposter syndrome is taking over, just remind yourself, imposter syndrome taking in which direction? Is it taking me in a good direction? Ama is it pulling me back? Then you decide what you want to do with that imposter syndrome.
My guys,
Yes.
actually, your point here, you are who you think. Have you seen people online? Then you're like, this person has the guts to post this online and it's working for them. Then you're like, probably you think you look better, ama you sound better, ama nini. But the fact is, there's someone who said this again somewhere. It is not the commenters who matters. It is not the fans who matter. It is that person in the arena. It's a quote by one of the US presidents. It's the person in the arena, the person fighting, that person,
the person who shows
that
up,
the person who shows up,
Yeah.
and every day wake up and show up for yourself. I always tell myself, I do not, but I never compare. I barely compare myself with other people. I only compare myself to the person I was yesterday. And at the end of the day, when I'm going to bed and I ask myself, did you do your best today? Try to ask yourself that question every day. Did you do your best today? Then I tell myself, Anita, today you did 20%. What does that mean? Tomorrow you
You have,
overcompensate for
yeah.
today. That's it, guys. Yeah.
That's it.
Eh,
Yeah.
si tumeongea mambo poa
Eh.
poa. Mtu subscribe, follow,
Subscribe.
comment.
Yeah.
Don't forget to follow her on all her socials.
Yes.
DF management.
DF casting and management. We deal with models. If you need models for your brand, karibu sana.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
and also the DF, the dancing folks, for events, all sorts of events, corporate, social, brands, launches, kila kitu. You're welcome.
She does a beautiful job. And kama kawaida, sisi huku Rare View Podcast, follow, comment, subscribe, share. Tupatane kwa hizo streets za social media, please. Thank you. Bye.